Do you guys ever just find yourselves making these vlogs if you're like a YouTube vlogger and just wondering if you need to have some kind of niche in your vlogs or if people are interested in just what you're saying, what you're conversing about? As a small YouTuber, I know that I shouldn't expect hundreds of views on my vlogs because I'm, for one, not a super interesting person. I don't do anything too crazy when it comes to my lifestyle, so it is a very standard way of living, but I do tend to watch a lot of vlogs myself of different types of people and just to see what it is that they include in them. And I find myself wondering that there is an audience out there for vloggers that are just doing mundane things like making coffee, or working or reading a book, just little clips like that. And I find it really interesting how much we are interested in other people's lives, even if they're just complete strangers that we don't know. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Kindle keyboard that I have that has been my go-to when it comes to reading books. And I know a lot of people will tell you that they recommend the newer Kindles because they have, a backlight or a light of some sort to help you read in darker areas, to where something like this Kindle keyboard, you have to have a light source available to you to be able to read books. So while it's not the most convenient, I still find it to be just the most comfortable way to read my books. I find that the way the text looks on this Kindle is so much nicer than on the newer ones. I don't know if there's more of a gap because of the light source. I don't know the technology behind that. But there's just something really charming about this Kindle. And I do have an issue with it though, because the battery that I installed on it is crap. I thought it was going to replace it and it was going to be good, but after charging it, I noticed that it dies after like 2-3 days. So that's kind of a bummer. And I've yet to find any good source for like a good Kindle 3rd generation battery. Everywhere that I look online, they all look to be those generic ones. And if there is one that might be really good, it's like in the $30 to $40 range, which seems a little high to me. So I'm not sure if I'm ready to invest in that. But yeah, I still love this Kindle a lot. Aside from the Kindle though, I've just been taking my time here at home between work and my other channels that I try to do content for. The Retro Universe one seems to be the easiest because I have a variety of retro gaming or retro tech stuff to do. But the vlog one, it's like, I guess people would like to see me making some coffee, even if it's just B-roll footage of coffee being made or of my dogs, or just the life that we have here in Georgia. It's a very small town that we live in, so there's not a lot to see out there. Here's just little bits and clips that I've captured during my times out there. But it is a very, very small town. I know the population is very small where I live, but it is what it is. So if you want to experience more, you need to go to some of the bigger towns out here in this area. It's near Atlanta, but not super, super close to where it's like a 20-minute drive to Atlanta. It takes at least an hour to get into the city. But I like it out here. I like the peace and quiet. I like the tranquility of this town that we live in. It's just nice to have kind of that peace after living so long in cities in Southern California for my whole life. So my wife and I and our dogs just seem to love it out here for that quietness. Now that the, cold weather seems to be subsiding finally, even though we had a few months that were still going strong there, especially this month. We had a freeze warning a couple days ago, which is wild. But now that we're getting into spring very soon here, I'm looking forward to doing some outdoor vlogs. There are some trails out here to walk around in, and I know that walking is very important and want to make sure that we are including that in our daily lives. So gonna make sure to try and do some videos with that. We have a thing right now at home where we're doing squats every day, or trying to do a good amount of squats every day, anywhere between 20 to like 40 squats a day, just to kind of put that into the routine, because I think it's important to have a routine of stuff. Otherwise, you just fall out of it so quickly if you don't keep up with it. And it can be hard. There's times where we forget about it. And we're like, but we just get on each other to remind each other about doing these squats So that's something we're trying to integrate into our routine. I'd love to know things that you guys integrate into your routines. What are ways that, you know, it helps you get motivated to do stuff? Sometimes it's easier to just stay at home and not do anything, but it's really good to make sure that you add things to your daily life to just improve your overall life and experiences. So that's one thing that we're working on as well. But yeah, I'm excited for spring to come in and for us to start doing stuff with that. I have been looking at the DJI. I keep saying DGI. It's DJI. The DJI action cameras and the nanos. I was this close to picking up a nano, and then all of a sudden the prices went up on them. So that was kind of a bummer. They shot up $100 or so. So yeah, that's out of the question. Right now they have the Action 4 and the 5 on sale. But I don't know. I keep looking towards that Nano just because I like its versatility, being able to kind of just like pop it onto metal surfaces and it'll stick. Things like that kind of sound really nice. If it doesn't end up going down, I'll probably go with the Action 5. The Action 5 and 6 don't seem like that big of a difference. Maybe for low light stuff, but I don't really film at night, so I don't see myself getting that. But yeah, if the prices end up going back down on the Nano, I will probably go with that one. I love my Canon V10 for vlogs like this because it's stationary, it works perfectly for it, and I don't need anything else aside from that. But for on the go, it's not the best when it comes to steadiness, so kind of walking around with it, it just doesn't work that well. So I will be getting something that works for that, because my old GoPro is just it's done. It's served its time. It's not there for me anymore. And I do like having some form of monitor on it so that I can go ahead and you know, see and make sure that everything that I'm trying to film is in frame and stuff like that. But I always tell people, if you're going to film and you do have a camera that has some type of monitor that you can see yourself on, avoid staring at the monitor the whole time, even though it's difficult, because like with phones, especially when you turn the front-facing camera, you spend a lot of time looking at yourself rather than looking into the lens, and that just creates this like weird thing for people that are watching. It doesn't look like you're engaging directly with them. It looks like you're just talking to yourself. To where if I'm looking up at the monitor right now, it looks like I'm talking to myself. So look down a little bit, and then I'm talking to you guys. But that's just some things I wanted to talk about. I talk really fast sometimes, and I tend to ramble a lot. That's why I think I avoid doing vlogs sometimes, because I just go from one thing to another. That's ADHD for you guys. The unnecessary jumps between topics and just going all over the place is a thing for sure. One thing I wanted to mention, see, I tell you, I just hop between back and forth, is I got my wonderful, you know, camcorder here that I've been doing some footage on. I need to look in my storage for the kit that I use to transfer the footage to my computer so that I can start to actually show you guys what I've been recording. But I'm trying to make it a habit, speaking of routines and stuff, to carry this guy around because I do love being able to film on this. I love that it has the ability to rotate the screen around so you can see yourself and such. But I got some new batteries for that, and I have plenty of tapes for that as well. But I need to get my kit out to be able to transfer that footage over to the computer. Anyways, that's going to do it. I don't know what else to talk about. Otherwise, I would just keep rambling as I look around my desk for things to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did watch and you stayed till the very end, I appreciate it. Stay tuned for more stuff, guys. I know this channel was dead for a while, but I do want to bring it back and try and do somewhat daily-ish vlogs, if not every other day. And I'm testing things out here and there every now and again for footage. But the camera I'm always going to use is going to be the V10 for these vlogs here at home. So thank you for watching. I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.